The voice of sharing, Durian ASEAN.
Hi, this is your host Arlene Tan at the Durian Heat, where we discuss critical issues from Southeast Asia. Today, we are going to talk about smart leaders, smarter cities, on the importance of cultural intelligence to leaders and cities in Southeast Asia. So, what makes a city smart? That is a question that is in the heart of every policymakers and city builders. It all starts with great leadership, but what makes a leader great? The answer is cultural intelligence. Beyond having a higher IQ and a deeper EQ is being able to work in anywhere with everyone, together solving the challenges in the 21st century. I will be speaking with Adirupa Sengupta, the CEO of Common Purpose Asia Pacific, an organization dedicated to doing just that, developing great leaders. In this segment, Adirupa talks about what makes a city smart and what ASEAN can learn from other smart cities in the world.
The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Hi, welcome back. This is Arlene from Durian ASEAN. So, Adi, regarding on our third segment today, where we will talk about city, I think I want to go straight to the point. What makes a smart city or a city smart?
Well, there's so many different ways to answer these questions. I think the first thing to be said about cities itself, in Common Purpose, we have a deep passion for cities, and all our programs use cities as our classroom. So the city becomes our what you would call our main base around which the programs are constructed. So we draw the content of all our programs from the cities where we are delivering them. Cities are the engines of world economy. They're growing at an unprecedented rate. A lot of people say 75% of the world's population will live in cities by 2050, and 90% of that will be in Asia and Africa. So we do need smart cities, and smart cities, I have to say, Arlene, is not just about technology. It is very much about using technology cleverly and constructively to improve cities. But smart cities is about a whole lot of other things. I think smart cities at heart is about smart ways of doing things.
I see.
Whether you're trying to find a solution to the population growth or climate change or natural disasters or disease or terrorism or cybersecurity, it is about how do we, as cities of the future and citizens in that cities, adapt and find smart approaches to tackle these challenges. And sometimes we will have to turn to smart technology to give us those solutions. But at other times, it's about how our city is going to collaborate better, how they're going to learn from each other, and how are the citizens or the leaders or the individuals of that city going to play an active role in shaping the future of the city to overcome some of these challenges.
That's
so
true.
It's really about smart people and smart approaches.
It's about the people and approaches. It's interesting that the Common Purpose is using this as the theme, because we all know that Singapore is also eyeing at having the Singapore city as a smart city.
Absolutely. If you look around the world, there are some cities that have openly come out and declared themselves as smart cities and smart nations, and Singapore is definitely one of them. And the government and other stakeholders of Singapore, including the private sector and the business community, have invested a lot of thinking time and emotion and money into trying to use smart cities as a way to improve, the sort of, the lives of people who live in these cities, and Singapore is way ahead of that game.
But around Southeast Asia, most of the countries are developing countries. What's lacking in majority of the ASEAN cities? If they, what sort of gap that they need to fill in order for them to achieve that status as a smart city?
I think I think, of course, the challenges that different ASEAN cities or Southeast Asian cities face are quite different. Slightly depends on their levels of economic development and social challenges, etc. But there are some challenges that are quite common. There are challenges of infrastructure, there are challenges of population and demographics. There are challenges of of distribution of wealth and income and equity, etc. But one of the things that so the challenges are varied. But one of the things, and I wouldn't want to badge them necessarily that they all have to become smart cities. But if they can give their people an opportunity to find smart approaches or smart ways of doing things, if they can give their people an opportunity to engage with their cities better, to change them better for the future, whether it's in terms of governance or how they use data and information, or how they how the governments are dealing with the working with the citizens, or or looking at some of the barriers that are coming in the way for them to become smart, or how they can learn from each other. I think if there can be new and innovative ways of doing some of the things that I've just mentioned, then the cities can find that they will accelerate or overcome their challenges much quicker than the other cities are doing.
Earlier in the previous segment, you spoke a lot about cultural intelligence. I wonder how can cultural intelligence tie into ways at developing smarter cities?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the whole premise of cultural intelligence is that it's about working with people who are very different from you. So if you take that analogy further and use it in the context of cities, the population of these cities in Southeast Asia are incredibly diverse and different. And they come from very, very different, the ethnic backgrounds are different, their social backgrounds are different, their economic realities are different. But if they can find a way to break down some of the barriers that come in their way, and they start to understand each other better, and they have a common language, and they try to find solutions and share ideas with each other better and steal ideas of each other better, then I think cultural intelligence will play a very big part in making these cities smart, or helping them overcome the challenges, which is what we are what we are really trying to do with the program. I hope the ASEAN Leaders Programme, with its emphasis on cultural intelligence, will be game-changing for the ASEAN in producing smart people in smart cities that can help find smart solutions to their problems.
Interesting. But what are the other examples of smart cities that maybe Southeast Asia can learn from?
Yeah, so when we took the participants last year, we ran a similar global program called the Commonwealth Study Conferences Leaders Programme, and we actually took them to the UK, and they visited Nairobi, and they visited Singapore, and they also visited Ahmedabad in India. And they saw some amazing examples of what I would call smart cities, smart ways of doing things in terms of housing, in terms of health, in terms of transport and mobility, in terms of way food, water, sanitation was being looked at, energy and environment, financing, particularly in places like Nairobi. They looked at smart financing, which was groundbreaking, innovation and entrepreneurship, technology and infrastructure, which is the bedrock of smart cities often, citizens' engagement and governance, this whole idea of livable city, safety, diversity, accepting difference and using that as a strength. So there are lots and lots of examples in London, as I said, in Nairobi, in Ahmedabad, in Singapore, that we gave the participants insights into, which I think we will continue to build on in the ASEAN Leaders Programme.
And that's the part 2 of the ASEAN Leaders Programme, right?
Yeah, some of these will be part 2s of the ASEAN Leaders Programme, but also we will have a dedicated platform called the Massive Online Innovation Community, which is a common purpose online platform dedicated to continue for the alumni to continue their learning, but also it is a platform which is almost a knowledge base for ideas and solutions to the challenges or the themes that we look at on the program. And it's already developing a very robust knowledge base around smart cities, because a lot of the university students have also been looking at smart cities as a part of their program, and so have the senior leaders. And there is a lot of cross-fertilization of ideas on that platform, which we will offer to our ASEAN participants right from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Finally, what's the future plans after the ASEAN Leaders Programme?
Well, we hope 2016 will be just one little step in a very, very exciting direction. We deeply believe this program is relevant and important for the ASEAN. It's not what Common Purpose believe, it's what our partners and stakeholders have said to us. That's why we are running it. And ASEAN is at such an exciting sort of point in its history, with the ASEAN Economic Community being created and launched on 31st December 2015. So I really hope ASEAN will grow from strength to strength, and we will make this program sustainable and viable. If we are able to recruit a really high caliber participant group for the 2016 program, the world will be our oyster. And we hope we will have made a significant contribution towards ASEAN and towards the Asia Pacific region.
Mm-hmm. How can people get in touch with Common Purpose, especially if they want to know more about ASEAN Leaders Programme?
Well, definitely go on to our website, which is www.commonpurpose.org/ASEAN. And there is a whole lot of information on the ASEAN program on our website. People can follow me on Twitter. It's at Adirupa Sengupta. I keep talking about ASEAN issues, and I keep tweeting about the ASEAN program that we're going to be launching very soon. But also, the Common Purpose website will constantly have updates on the ASEAN program. So follow us on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, and check out the ASEAN section on the Common Purpose website. But also, our partners like the ASEAN Foundation and GE and others are very, very keen to spread information about this program going forward. So follow them too.
With that, thank you very much, Adi.
Thank you very much, Arlene. Pleasure.
For more interviews by Durian ASEAN, please tune in to our website at durianasian.com. If you're on the go, you can always download our TuneIn app on your mobile. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels at Durian ASEAN and Durian ASEAN TV. Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page, Twitter and Instagram. We always welcome feedback from our listeners. Stay tuned with the Durian Heat on Tuesday to Friday, same time at 1 o'clock in the evening on GMT Plus 8. Durian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing.
You're now listening to Durian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing.